Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? Welcome back once again to another crypto live stream. We have had quite a big announcement from Trump, which has evidently caused and resulted in a lot of euphoria and hopium and FOMO coming back to the market. Of course, we are not returning to the levels in which before the crash happened because, well, the crash was not Trump's fault. It was more so market makers causing the markets to crash the way they did, using Trump's announcement as a catalyst, amongst some other things as well. And at the same time, despite the euphoria and the bullish news from Trump, we still are yet to see how it develops from here. So it's reassuring news, but nothing by any. This is just further proof again, if anything, that it can just change at a moment's notice. So in today's stream, we're going to be getting into the macro, or more so the fundamental developments. We'll get into a lot of Kaspa news as well, predominantly for this stream. I will be covering the price action for kind of the general crypto market and for the assets that you see in the thumbnail, be it Zebek, Okta, and Ondu, which, I mean, Ondu right now is doing fantastic, and Ondu is one of the real world assets that I informed my VIP community about Friday, literally hours before the crash. So we got a very nice dip in that asset that I think going to do very well. Same for Zebek, and there are many others as well that I think are due for a rally. So that being said, the family, if you enjoy the streams, the content, be doing this stuff pretty much every day, then leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to chill, chat, and learn more about crypto, about Kaspa, come check out the free Discord community, which is linked on my homepage here and down in the description. And if you want even more premium insights, to which I will be sharing one of them today in the stream, which I showed to my VIPs in the earlier executive roundtable, which I made a post about actually earlier today as well. If you want to find out more VIP content, then check out the link down below in the description for more premium insights. The documentation I'm going to be covering is this one right here from Signum Bank. Get institutional sentiment about what is coming, and ultimately this one massively reinstates my belief in Kaspa. The TLDR of it is just saying that price is just a distraction. We'll get into that post in a lot more detail in a moment. And again, the sort of insights that, again, we're trying to teach people in our VIP community, so you can learn a lot more in there. But that being said, the family, welcome back to the stream once again. We have Dimitar, as always, first again, brother. Welcome back to the stream. Future Crypto Elite is here, as always. Capital Malt Faces. I sure hope it will. If it doesn't, then the world is doomed. Welcome back, Zia, bro. Doing very well. Double D, my man. Welcome back again. From the 13th to the 15th. Ooh la la. I'm fastening my SIBA 100%. 100%. When the markets open tomorrow, we're going to likely see a lot of volatility, a lot of a reaction in the market. The stock market still seems to be in its corrective pattern according to the markets. But again, remember the TradFi market is closed right now. So there's only so much the stock market can actually move because there's nothing that can happen in it. But when it opens again, we'll see how it does react on Monday. And then you'll pretty much see the bandages and the stemming of the bleeding occurring from Monday through to Wednesday. There is posts from certain political figures and officials saying that the market volatility and the hurt will come to an end in the coming days and weeks. We'll get to that in a moment as well. But yes, the next few days are going to be an interesting one. That's what we spoke about with our VIPs earlier as well, as what we're keeping a close eye on right now. Welcome back, Cassius, bro. Great to have you back, brother. You're doing very well. First, I appreciate you massively, brother. Thank you very much for that. And those who enjoy the streams, again, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Greg, yo, brother. Welcome back to the stream. Falco, welcome back, my man. Great to have you here again. Jonas, hi. You are the best. I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for being here. And it's not me. We are all here tuning and learning more. We are the best. As our DJ kind of once said, we the best. That's what it is. LB on the check-in, bro, doing very well. Welcome back, my man. Frederick, what's up, brother? Hi. Trump stopped change, more economic for Chinese. Yes. So we'll get to that right now before we do more of the introduction. So we can see here, kind of going through the motions right now. Dr. Martin Hyperweb made a post earlier today saying the crypto market crash on October 11th, yesterday, was suspected to be a targeted attack that exploited the flaw in Binance's unified account margin system. So they utilized Trump's tariffs amongst some other developments. It wasn't just Trump's tariffs, so actually other ones that went under the radar, which I spoke about to my VIPs earlier in the European region. But they utilized these catalysts to basically coordinate a massive attack that was 20 times bigger than Terra Luna, than the FTX collapse, and by COVID as well. The issue stemmed from using assets like ESDE, WBETH, and BNSOL as collateral, whose liquidation prices were based on Binance's own volatile spot market, not reliable external data. When the markets dropped, these collateral assets plummeted, e.g. USDE to 65 cents. And these are, meant to be denominated dollar back, so it shouldn't be going down that much, causing a cascading margin collapse that forced massive liquidations, including those of major market makers. The attack was timed to exploit a window between Binance's announcement of a fix and its implementation, resulting in estimated losses between $500 million to $1 billion. This event highlights critical risks in exchange collateral policies and risk management. This could be worrying in the sense of a Luna 2.0. And it's again the whole sentiment about just exchanges. Just be careful. If you have your crypto on an exchange, you're liable to be caught up in these sort of risks. That's why, of course, I will buy my Kaspa, my crypto off an exchange, but the moment I do, I immediately deposit that into a cold storage, a hardware wallet. Worst case scenario, I put it in a Kaspa wallet. Better off in your Tangent, 100%, or one key or ledger, whatever your cold storage is. But worst case, Kaspa, or one of the Kaspa wallets that have been created, which you can utilize to connect to, the layer 2s and whatnot, and to the Kaspa ecosystem. But it should be in a cold storage wallet. If you're leaving it on a centralized exchange, DEX as well, but if you're leaving it on a centralized exchange, you're asking to be taken advantage of. So that was happened. I've seen a lot of evidence about how it's a coordinated attack, manipulation. It was terrible. Now we are hearing off the back of that more reassuring announcements. This is the first of many. Our White House official Greer says financial markets will calm in the coming week, which I do believe is the case. Again, it's early doors, but based on the sentiment we've seen so far, it is an increasing possibility. Now we did see again, just yesterday or the day before, Trump announced 100% tariffs on China starting November 1st and export controls on any and all critical software. The reason why is because apparently China were going to impose some very large tariffs on everybody else effectively. Now, since then, it looks like China has appeared to soften their stance on recent rare earth export controls, where they said that the recent changes is not a full export ban. Applications that meet regulations will be approved. Willing to engage in deeper dialogue with Trump. Looks for global industrial and supply chain stability. A relevant impact of export controls is very limited and calls this a necessary defensive action. And they also added that they will take measures if the United States persists in raising tariffs. So it's still a little bit heated from the sound of things. And the sentiment is that if Trump responds to this and de-escalates on Sunday, today, markets are set for a big jump on Monday. We've seen again, China says new export controls are not a ban. They're trying to avoid the escalation of a tension of another trade war. So the belief of tariffs being implemented on November 1st went significantly lower. China urges the United States to correct its wrong practices as soon as possible, so on and so forth. And then we had the most recent announcement here, or the next two even, where investors today started to, quote, wake up after some major news came from China, which again was just basically highlighting that this whole event, this kind of rebuttal from Trump, might have just been a misunderstanding. Might have been. Last night, China released a statement clarifying their export controls on rare earth. In their response, China said the new controls are not a full export ban, and applications that meet regulations will be approved. And of course, off the back of that, earlier today, we did see a lot more positive price actions, which was good. I mentioned that again with my VIPs, and then earlier today, just a few hours ago, Trump says, "Don't worry about China, it will all be fine." Don't worry about China, it will all be fine. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The United States of America wants to help China, not hurt it. President Donald J. Trump. So the good news is it looks like crisis may be averted. The bad news is the largest crypto liquidation in history and over 2.5 trillion lost in the S&P 500 market has all appeared to happen from one big misunderstanding. But the actuality of the matter is it was the misunderstanding that was a catalyst to allow for market makers and individuals to exploit Binance, exploit the market, exploit investors. So a misunderstanding amongst some other developments, and I've covered some of them in the stream. For example, the Fed stance has become a little bit more hawkish recently, which is not good. We've seen other developments regarding the Democrats starting to be a bit more overbearing regarding the regulations for the Clarity Act. That also wasn't ideal. There were some other developments as well, which I mentioned to my VIPs about developments in Europe. That was very, very bad. But as a result of all of these combined, starting to increase the hawkish sentiment, where investors are still putting a lot of leverage longs up, we did see a massive collapse. And despite now the sentiment looks a little bit better, which is reassuring, which is good, it's still for the most part very open wound. We have to wait and see what happens on Monday. Right now, the sentiment is shifting more towards up again, but it won't necessarily come back straight away. Not necessarily. We have to wait and see where it goes from here. We can see right now the Bitcoin is now trying to rally back up to 115k, which is very reassuring. This would be a very good level to hold above. And again, I did highlight, by the grace of God and fortunate for, I guess, being correct, if that's the right word, but I highlighted that when Bitcoin made this correction to around 108, 109k, and then rally back up from here, I did state a week back that this was light at the bottom for Bitcoin. Despite the fact that we saw this black swan, this massive crash, Bitcoin held above that zone and rebounded off that. Now again, this is still early doors. Bitcoin could still go down. There's no definitive confirmation of whether the direction of the direction of the market just yet. But it's starting to look a little bit more bullish. We can see across the board, we're seeing green all over, Ondo up 14, Tau up 26, Ultra up 16, Kaspa up 6.7, XRP 6.2, Ethereum up 10%, making it move back up to 4.1k. If we can keep and hold above 4100, according to what our experienced trader said in the VIP and our roundtable earlier, that would be a critical zone for us to hold above. So we're to hold above that today. And similarly for Bitcoin as well. So this is reassuring news going into Monday. Of course, again, this is most likely true, but as Double D highlighted earlier, yes, Monday to Wednesday, that period of time will be what we're looking out for, and that will give us more confirmation on what the sentiment is for the market. But it's looking better today. Sunday pumps, which is good, which also just means that we got in at very low levels. Now, Kaspa again looking more so at the project, held at 5 cents. And it's starting to make that rally back up. Again, early doors. It's early doors, so don't celebrate too much just yet. You know, don't be emotional, be logical. Anything can still happen, but things are starting to look better. So you could take that as a positive respite at the very least. Kaspa holding 5 cents, again, proven to be a very critical level of support for Kaspa, rebounding 2 times this year already. So in fact, it managed to hold above that despite the massive liquidation down to 1 cent on some exchanges, 5 cents on Mexi. That's fantastic. Now starting to make a rally from here. Hopefully it can continue and, you know, make that move back into this zone, this wedge that we drew out a while back. Again, we'll have to wait and see. To which I'm going to get into one particular post before I then come back full circle. Reason why I was a little bit late to stream today, I meant to go live at 15:15, but went live at 20:15, is because I was replying to a post that I made yesterday. I made a post yesterday, or I tell a lie, I made the post yesterday, but I scheduled it for earlier today. And I made the post about how Kaspa has touched 5 cents 3 times this year. I just showed that. It's touched 5 cents 3 times this year. And every single time that it had done that, it found support and rebounded off it. So evidently, the market showcases that this is a critically strong level for Kaspa, one that is battle tested and has yet to fail us. So this could happen at the same time, and right now it looks like it's happening, which is great news. This individual, and I don't want to highlight this to throw any FUD or negativity his way. It's not the point of the be showcasing this. It's just me showcasing again the general consensus from Kaspa and many others in the community, which is understandable, but this is very important to the documentation, the alpha document I'm going to showcase in a moment. Ghost Band highlighted here that Kaspa will fall through 5 cents on its way to zero like a hot knife through butter. It will only find boost support between 4 to 4.5 cents, which I didn't really bother to respond to that. I didn't really care to. I don't, even now, I'm just like, okay, if you believe that, fine, I don't need to respond to it. But he responded back to that just saying, I'm always open to corrections, dude. If you think otherwise, name an excellent case for Kaspa, and I might even buy some. I don't care if you buy some. I'm not here to tell you what to buy. I'm here to tell you what I like. I'm an educator. I'm not a financial advisor. You can do what you want. But he says here, but I've argued and waited for 2 years for that, and no one has done so. They've only expressed unjustified over-optimism in future adoption. But the real problem is the killer evidence. The showstopper is that a week ago, the speed test showed that even if Kaspa got 1,830 TPS of real organic fee paying user adoption, which is a lot more than it is today, basically saying, even then, its miner could still receive only $505 a day in income. So it's dead. Now, there's probably 101 things I could say to that, but I feel like trying to, what's the word I'm going to call it? Not educate, but just talk about Kaspa to those who just don't believe in the project is like the saying of you could take a camel to a well, but you can't force it to drink. If they don't like Kaspa, I'm not going to be here to try and convince them to like Kaspa, because the first point they made in regard to why Kaspa's going to fall off is regarding price. And then they provided some evidence to support the claim about how there's not any adoption and about the mining issue, which are valid concerns. But the rebuttal to that I made is, well, in regards to the mining fees, there are ongoing discussions right now on how to navigate the matter. And in regards to the adoption, well, it's a fair launch project with no VC backing, and it had no smart contracts until very recently. So, of course, adoption takes a lot longer. It's a first cycle as well. There's 101 things I could say. And I just finished off by saying, which is kind of my stance in a lot of when it comes to back and forth and fighting with community members or just generally with people in general, because I try and do my due diligence and my job, if you will, as a Caspian, to talk about the project that I believe in. But I'm not here to convince people in stuff they don't care about. He evidently has no care for Kaspa, and I'm not saying this to spread any hate or FUD to him. In fact, don't. I don't want people to do so. That's not the point of this at all. My point is, you don't believe or like Kaspa, that is your own prerogative. That's perfectly fine. You do what you want to do. But my belief doesn't waver from bad price action when the project is still being developed and still being improved. That leads in to my next point. Kaspa Unchained, the Kaspa unofficial Twitter page, made the post just on VPOGs on Dag Night, stay it back. And I just said exactly my point. Kaspa is the future. And I said that because of the post that I made a few minutes before that. This is one of my institutional insights that I posted to my VIPs. Another Signum Bank documentation here, an introduction to the world of crypto assets and blockchain technology. Quote from the document here. Crypto market drivers, core findings, the pace of innovation and the ever-evolving market dynamics mean that even experienced investors and crypto enthusiasts need to stay closely engaged. Price, you can't really see it because I'm kind of cutting it off actually. Let's see if I can, will this work if I do this? No, okay, well, just listen to what I'm saying here. Price volatility and regulatory implications dominate the public discourse. But these are only surface distractions in what is becoming the foundational layer of the next generation of finance, market infrastructure, and innovative technology. That's a quote from an institutional leader in the crypto space, Signum Bank being a key driver who's trying to bridge the gap between TradFi and DeFi. Institutions like Signum Bank are literally telling this documentation, by the way, is stuff that only their clients can get hold of, or if you have certain ways about getting the information, which I do. Again, the stuff that I try and find and showcase to my VIPs, get access to documentation that most don't see. Signum Bank are telling their clients, their institutional clients, that if you want to succeed, Look deeper, look beyond the surface, the distraction that is just the price. Understand what is being built and the adoption that will come with it. That's precisely the reason why I stopped, and in that regard, very rarely did in the first case, I stopped making price predictions for Kaspa. Precisely the reason why I rarely entertain those who say Kaspa is going to go to zero. Because those who say that are only looking at the surface, the distractions that the leaders of this market, the smart money, want you to pay attention to. Regulatory developments, which are important, but they put too much emphasis on that, and then price, definitely well over exaggerated. This is what I am trying to help teach in the VIP, and ultimately also teach in this community as well. I think I've been doing this similar thing for over a year. It's just in a lot more sources, a lot more in-depth insights in the VIP. But this is, stop chasing hype and FOMO. The sooner you understand the crypto market is no longer a speculative sideshow, the sooner you understand that crypto is becoming the foundation of the next generation of finance, your understanding of the assets in this space will change forever. Price is still important. I'm not going to say don't care about price. Of course, you want to make money. We're here to make money. But price lags to utility. Utility, if it's good utility, if it's game-changing technology, the price will eventually, inevitably catch up to the superior nature of the utility at hand. There's one project that I spoke to my VIPs that the price for it right now is terrible. The market chart for it looks awful. I would not normally touch that with a 10-foot pole, but understanding this and seeing the adoption taking place within the protocol that I've seen, it had a 400-500% explosion, if you will, in ecosystem adoption from Q1 to Q2. That to me tells me that's going to get a lot more adoption in the following months and years to come. One of the real world assets that I covered in my document there. This is again the stuff. That's why again I get the price is terrible, and I get the concerns about the mining fees is a valid one. I get the concerns about the lack of adoption right now, also a valid one. But when you look, again going back to that post, when you look about the lack of adoption, sure, this here was pre-smart contract. This here was the time smart contracts came out, and you're now seeing activity taking place. It's still very early. Cashback smart contracts have been out for what? 2 weeks, if that, and we haven't got stablecoins on there yet. We've got so much more building taking place right now, and it's only Cashback. You still got IGO to come out, you still got VPOX to come out, get Dagnut to come out. If you look at it right now, active addresses, unique senders, you can see how much adoption is kind of taking place on the platform right now, which most of it is likely coming through Cashplex. You can see it's come down quite a lot today, but this is again pre-smart contracts. Or now a smart contract, you're seeing more. So again, this is showing that the adoption, the growth of Kaspa's ecosystem is starting to move, because there's now an ecosystem where people can properly start trading on it and doing stuff on it. Beforehand, before Cashplex, it was not really possible. I mean, it was, but not at the same time. You didn't have Zealous who are currently about. You didn't have the layer 2 and all the stuff. And again, whether that be the case in the future, what's going to happen in the future, again, it's too early to say. But we need to be successful, in accordance to institutional sentiment, to be successful, stop chasing hype, stop chasing FOMO, stop chasing the distractions, stop solely looking at the public discourse, which is regulatory implications and price volatility. Pay attention to what is actually being built with the technology. Kaspa is redefining the wheel. It is creating this whole infrastructure from the ground up. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's changing the future of finance. So I'll probably come back to this later on, this document here. But before I do, let me get into some questions first and foremost. And again, those who want more of those premium insights, we cover that document today alongside a lot more information. Again, I made that post on my YouTube earlier, actually, regarding what we looked into. One thing I didn't cover, and this is what actually there was documentation highlighting that, the current transactions that happens in the world is 141 trillion, and that's all going to come on chain as well. So again, a lot of capital, trillions, is going to be coming to the space, as we should know. And equally had interviews we looked through from the likes of industry leaders from Standard Chartered Bank and equally from Swift saying that we are at the tipping point. And that was from last week, they said that as well. So the timing of everything is still, the nature of this market hasn't changed. The future hasn't changed. Kaspa hasn't changed. The price is terrible. I'm always going to accept that right now because it is. But the sooner you stop reflecting solely on the price, if the price is something you can't ignore, fine. If you think Kaspa has no future, that is up to you. That's your own prerogative. You do all you have to do as an investor. I'm not here to tell you what to invest into because I'm not a financial advisor. But institutional sentiment is telling us that the price is a distraction. So what I'm looking to, of course, is assets I think I do very, very well. So what I determine from that is not, oh, it did this, last week or last month or last year or last cycle, therefore it's going to definitely do this again. No, and what I'm looking at is, what are they building? How big is their market cap? Of course, is so I know kind of what entry to get into, but what are they building? Is what they're building going to see adoption? Is it going to change the world? Because that's what crypto is doing with finance right now. It's changing the world. So is what I'm looking into going to change the future world? It's going to change crypto. That's why I get into Kaspa. That's me personally, though. Of course, not financial. Again, do your own research. But yeah, LB, you're right. It was definitely a coordinated attack. Political market makers, hedge funds, all of us got liquidated. What is the excuse now that Kaspa is losing ranks again while the market rebounds, asking for the bears? I kind of just went on a massive tangent about price not really mattering, and it all just being a distraction. So I'm not even going to really entertain that respectfully, Lieutenant. Because Kaspa's up 7% today, it's doing okay. Market's rebounding now. We'll see where it goes from here. When face reveal, Jay? Good question, John Doe. I said it'll be before the end of the month. I haven't decided on a day just yet. I haven't even put the proper motions into play yet, so I'll have to think about that, but it should be soon enough, I hope. I do pray to, might have to get myself all mentally prepared for it, because even though it's not going to change anything, but I mean, will, because I look at my screen, I talk in my mic, I'll have to then start actively looking into the camera and pretending that I'm looking at all of you face to face. Maybe one day it will be face to face. I hope it will be. But, I'm going to have to be more conscious about that, which is just, yeah. I do plan to do it before the end of the month. I might do it. Oh, you know what? It'll be before the end of the month. That's how it is. Welcome back, Kryptoni Broker. To have you back, brother. You're doing very, very well. Coach to Catnap. Welcome back, brother. Thank you for being here again, my man. Buffalo, sup to you too, brother. I saw another question here from Coach. What's new on Kaspa? What's bullish news? Anything for being hype? I mean, I'll give you hype and hopium and FOMO. I always do that, but just again, that is kind of counterintuitive considering what I just spoke about just literally a minute ago. But I'll give you some information either way in what's kind of circulating Kaspa right now. And some good news, actually. Cassia, the Kaspa messaging encryptors centralized platform, if you will, they're now apparently live on Google Play, which is, quite big. I'm soon, if not already, it'll be on iOS as well. So that is a very big deal. And of course, for some people, I mean, everyone I think will probably end up using this sort of infrastructure in the future, the centralized messaging. But for me in particular, being in the UK, I'm going to probably take a lot of pride and privilege in that, because the UK is not doing good right now. For you, Trump knows what he does, like decision tariffs. I mean, Trump might have done it by design. Who knows? He seems to say it was a misunderstanding. I'll take his word at face value, but who knows? And I'm just reading through the replies from people to Lieutenant right now. And yeah, I understand you're asking harsh questions, Lieutenant. I understand that. And I agree the price doesn't look good for Kaspa, but irrespective of everything else, it looks perfectly fine. Again, if you're focusing solely on the price, then you are, in regards to what institutions say, you are just feeding into the distractions that they are putting forward to you. That's not me telling you this. I mean, it is, but it's me regurgitating what institutions are telling you, or telling their clients even. They're telling their clients, their institutional clients, that if you're looking at the price, you're being distracted. Is that all you're caring about? You're being distracted. Look what's being built. Look what's being built. These are early service distractions in what is becoming the foundational layer for the next generation of financial market infrastructure and innovative technology. We've got to stop chasing hype and FOMO and candles. That's the only way we properly succeed. Otherwise, you're going to lose time and time again. But I mean, again, it's saying that, of course, yeah, I mean, I think Kaspa's fantastic. I have highlighted more so recently as well that I have diversified, and actually in this document, I haven't showcased it because I don't want to leak everything from that document. Those who are part of the VIP get access to the whole document there. But I have highlighted in this document, it talks about certain strategies or what these institutions are looking out for, and one of them was diversification. That's also something that I do do. You haven't got to do that. Again, it's up to you. I'm not a financial advisor. You do your own research. I hold a lot of Kaspa, it's my biggest bag, but I have diversified into other assets. More recently, I have been looking at a lot more real world assets based on the other institutional sentiment that I've showcased already. How market makers were saying that real world assets will lead the next leg of the bull run. And Zebek, you know, is holding kind of strong right now after the pullback, sitting at 0.0042. Ondu is doing fantastic right now, up 14%, back up to 81 cents. You've got projects like Algorand up 12%, HBAR up 10%, XRP is up 7%, which is doing okay in that regard. Therefore, XYen saw a massive spike. It's come back down, but you're seeing these so-called real-world assets, the DeFi projects, performing very, very well. And then the one that I'm keeping tight to my chest is not necessarily a hidden gem. I don't think it's a small asset, but it's not one that'll be on everybody's radar. One I'm keeping close to my chest that I shared to my VIPs. That one did very, very well today. And it's one that is continuously seeing more adoption. Again, as you want to find that stuff out, 7-day free trial, VIP, wop.com/coin factory, link down below in the description. And you can also get an additive 1 month extra for free if you sign up to BYDFI, our no KYC, no VPN regulated exchange, who's affiliated with us. All information you can find for free in our Discord server. You can see right here the links. You check out the Get VIP Access channel. You can see all the information in here in regards to what you get if you follow the steps right here. So if you want to find out more, get many benefits with BYDFI, and also get the benefits of what you could end up learning a lot more in the VIP regarding the spot picks, the trade picks, the assets that are likely going to do very well based on the institutional sentiment, what they're buying into, and then the alpha research as well. Then again, 7-day free trial, or again 5 weeks for free. Links are down below in the description. Come check it out while opportunities are right now plentiful. Welcome back, Half-Light. Hail, Kaspa and D, my man. Can the camel find the water under the rug? Yes, I get that. My analogies are always very, very terrible. Thank you for reminding me, Falco. Probably not. If you can't find it in the rug, definitely can't find it under the rug. I can't believe they have water under the rug and not water under the bridge. That is just me. People don't understand that Kaspa is built for billions of transactions a day. Having high fees, having fees higher than what they are will cause the same problem with ETH and Bitcoin after adoption. I mean, yeah. What the ultimate, summary of everything, there's a significant lack of understanding about Kaspa from everybody, truth be told. My understanding of Kaspa is going to probably be insufficient to people like maybe Kryptoni here. But equally, mine might be more superior to other people. But everyone's collective understanding of Kaspa we're still in discovery of Kaspa in itself. Som Polinsky doesn't understand Kaspa. Well, he does, but he's building new stuff. He's building Dagmar, he's building VPOGs. They're figuring that out now. The understanding of Kaspa in and of itself is still really early. So the complaints being made, while some of them being valid and justified, they all are indicative and also around price action, which again it's water under the rug, as Falco reminded me. When it feels a bit uncomfortable to hold, it's time to buy. Precisely right, Phantasm. Tony, we just need an adoption and they'll shut up. Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what it is, I'll be transparent in saying this. There are days, more so recently now, where I'm just like, the moment Kaspa rallies, I want to say I told you so. That is the emotional side of me coming out a little bit. But I know me, being true to my morals and who I am, I won't say that. I won't be saying ever that I told you so. If and for me, when Kaspa does end up taking off, it's not what I do. I wouldn't rub it into people's faces. I'll just regurgitate that this is why I do my research. This is why I look into documentation like this while not talking about Kaspa. Is talking about ignore price, look at what's being built. So don't look for price all the time. Look at what's being built in the project, and that'll let you know whether it's worth investing into or not. Adoption-wise for Kaspa is significantly lackluster compared to pretty much everything else, I admit. But what it's building is revolutionary in our belief, but evidently, blockchain trilemma solver, running 10 BPS, speed, scalable proof of work, achieving 158 million transactions in a day. That's not been done before. That sort of technology, the centralized scalable proof of work architecture, is something that will likely be adopted when institutions start realize they actually need this sort of architecture to be able to have true self-sovereignty. Again, the question being asked, if you're BlackRock with $11.5 trillion in assets under management and you tokenize that all, are you going to tokenize that on Ripple XRP Ledger where they have control of that, or you tokenize that on Kaspa where you have true self-sovereignty? So you own it, but it's in crypto form. I think the answer is quite obvious to me. That's just me, maybe. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I probably do that quite a lot. But before I get into more of the questions, let's get into some of the other updates real quickly. So we have seen, this is going to be an interview that I play from Michael Sutton explaining the fiat system cheat code for acquiring Bitcoin. I'm going to play the video, but the follow response to that before I play it is Nicholas Sismore saying, this is exactly the problem though. Bitcoin holds favor and inflationary and a cheap mean of exchange such as fiat. That's why maxis want a slow and expensive base layer to make Bitcoin spending complicated and difficult, so hoarding against cheap media is forced. Grisham law is their mantra. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is getting poorer and poorer. When you stop pretending like Bitcoin will fix the system, it only makes it stronger. Right now, people are utilizing, every time money is printed, it all goes into Bitcoin right now. It's a great store of value, but Bitcoin is not a mean of exchange. So right now, we're just basically seeing the corrupt system as it is, just migrating over to Bitcoin, which is not scalable enough to utilize the system properly. That's why we need to find out something. That's why we believe in Kaspa. Anyways, listen to this interview here from Michael Saylor.
The dollar. And at the end of the day, the conclusion is, if something is designated legal tender, you're going to trade it high frequency. And if something is designated as property, you want to trade it low frequency. And that's why the rich people in the world, they would, whether it's Bob Kraft or whether it's, X family, they would buy $1 billion worth of property. They will hold it for 30 years, and then they will borrow against it in dollars, right? I take $1 billion, I take a $200 million loan, then I will buy and sell things with the $200 million in cash. And then the catch is, if I have $1 billion, I don't want to hold $500 million in dollars and $500 million in property, because the property is a capital asset which is not defective, right? Well, let's stack my capital assets, right? The worst capital asset is a weak currency, the peso. The second worst is a strong currency, the dollar. The next best is a diversified portfolio, 60-40 portfolio. The next worst is probably the S&P index. The best conventional capital asset is probably a building on Park Avenue or in Paris. And, the second best, and then the best is Bitcoin, right? So we're stacking up our capital assets. Rich would want to hold a mixture of those capital assets, and then you don't want to hold 500 million of cash. In fact, you don't even want to hold 1%. Like if you're really wealthy, you don't hold 1% in the currency or legal tender and 99% in the capital. You really want to hold minus 40%. You want negative working capital, right? So I have $1 billion. I borrow 400 million against the billion. I have negative $400 million of currency. Since the currency is losing 10% of its value a year, I'm making $40 million a year to be negative 400 million, right? So what you'll see is the Bob Crafts of the world borrow money against the Patriots. right? All these wealthy families will borrow money against their property. And the way that the world works is, if you're smart, you designate certain assets as capital assets and other assets as currencies. And then you have negative working capital in the currency and positive working capital in the capital asset. And that's how you navigate an inflationary environment. And the greater the inflation rate, the more important it is to do that. And now, what's the role of bankers and the capital markets? The bankers are the ones that actually exist to give you the loan against the building so you can be negative working capital, which is why, wealthy individuals will embrace the bankers, because they need them in order to be negative in working capital and positive in real capital.
So effectively, smart money elites are borrowing capital to then put it into Bitcoin, which is something we spoke about yesterday. Actually, I know Mr. Miles mentioned that he was going to take out, or had taken out, a loan of sorts or credit to get into Kaspa at the dip. And Cryptoni said that's also something that people tend to do. And it's not even unwise. That's what the smart money do. That's what smart money does. But this does, and while it is a strategy that they do, then it works. That's why they stay rich. It's also inherently the problem. And with Bitcoin, therefore, it means that Bitcoin's going to just end up becoming more and more of the store of value, and just making it harder for the rest of the world to ever buy Bitcoin. So it inherently makes the world poorer, while those who got into Bitcoin richer and richer. The benefit of us being early is we can know this stuff ahead of time, and we can end up utilizing this method. But think about those who are out parts in the Middle East, or even out parts in third world countries around the world, be it Asia, be it Africa, be it parts in Europe, where they can't utilize these methods. They're going to be stuck poor forever. Kaspa has the benefit of giving everybody a chance. That's one thing that we believe in. We've got this post here from Kaspa Bots. Do you actually understand Kaspa? Be honest, when people don't. They think they do, but they don't. Some are just tourists, the casual investor, weekend gamblers in Hawaiian shirts, bolting whenever the weather changes. We've seen that a lot. Think about how many people are talking about Kaspa when it's at 20 cents. Pretty much all of them now have left. Pretty much all of them. There are only a very small number who have stayed true throughout the whole thing. They like the chart, they like the vibe, they like the number, or they like that their number might go up, but the second the wind shifts, panic sets in. They didn't sign up for conviction, just for a ride. Others are deniers. Go through all of this. Big Kaspa isn't just faster Bitcoin or cheaper Ethereum. It's trying to be a niche product for an upgrade. It's money, yes, but also energy, communication, sovereignty, privacy, communication, or community. A system designed for self-sustained without permission. This is something that Kaspa is. It's again, the lack of understanding of Kaspa is something that is so deeply ingrained, because people aren't used to seeing an asset like this. It's new. And this is a prime example of that. Again, not to spread hate to this individual, but it's a prime example of, price bad, therefore asset bad. And that is normally the case, except this instance I would say it's not, because of the concerns that are being identified, are concerns that are being tackled or being addressed. And again, unfortunately, the only comment to really make on it is that Kaspa's early. No one likes hearing that. But that is the truth of the matter. Kaspa is just early. It's a really, really early project. Some Polinsky said maybe a month back now, something like that, that is 1/3 complete or something along those lines. I know Tony put it in the Kaspa Discord channel, forwarded from the Kaspa Discord community. Some Polinsky said something along the lines of it's just 1/3 complete or one early or something like that. And it is. No VPROC, no DAG-Knight, let alone Oracle systems and MEV resistance, that sort of stuff that haven't been set up to share a governance system. Kaspa is still extremely early. 32 BPS, 100 BPS, and then adoption that comes with the stable coins, other exchange listings and whatnot, is early. Doesn't mean it's not going to do anything this cycle. I keep saying that, I still believe that, but it is early. And if you're only focusing on price, then, well, you're being distracted. And I did see the post. I'm going to come through the post in unison, but I see the post here from Lieutenant again, which again, just to rebuttal to that, I'm here on this. I'm on the same page with you, brother. For me, though, lucrative PA is a sign of adoption, not the other way around. Part of my anxiety is stemming from how the market doesn't care for tech, and yeah, but to just rebuttal and more so just to target that last point. Who did the market cater to? Now, 2021, last cycle, it was for retail. Who leads the market now? With BlackRock being here, with Franklin Templeton being here, with all the Vanguard now tuning in as well. Who leads the market? Who cares for tech? Retail don't. Evidently, they care for hype and FOMO. That's why 99% of investors don't make it. Because all they care about is hype and FOMO. They go to memes, they chase candles. And it works. Sometimes. But the highest high reward. Those who are leading this market, who are taking over this space, they care for tech. They see that this crypto space, this narrative, is becoming the foundational layer for the next generation of financial markets, infrastructure, and innovative technology. They're looking for innovative technology. They're not looking for good price. That's what retail care about. So your anxiety, while your anxiety is well warranted, and I don't want to sound like I'm sweeping it under a rug, because I don't want to sound like I'm being unempathetic, because I understand the sentiment behind that. I really do. I'm in the same boat as you. The only difference for me is that I have access to information like this, I am of the understanding that those who lead the market, retail no longer has a significant or as significant an impact, because institutions lead the market and they're caring for technology. The market looks like it doesn't care for tech because that's how the smart money wanted it to be perceived, but these are distractions. What really matters is what's going on behind the scenes in the closed doors, which Kaspa again is starting to make those moves. And it's still building more so. Of course, other assets have that earlier advantage because they have VC backing and those who have the banking partnerships and whatnot to get that early connection. But again, you've got to remember that Kaspa, not like Kaspa doesn't have those connections. People right now are very much angry and fading the KII because they haven't seen anything from them. They have no reason or no legal binding to show us anything. While yes, Kaspa's fair launch, proof of work, transparency is a key thing, they are an enterprise extension of Kaspa effectively. They are a third party whose sole focus is on the enterprise market. They don't care for us. They have no care for us. They give us updates when they perceive it right, but they've got NDAs as well. But KRI have partnership with PwC, with Eon Energy, with Shell, with DHL, with Hyundai, with Bosch, with Eon Energies, with Siemens. They have so many huge partnerships with banks, energy providers. Right now, as I made that post relatively recently, which KRI responded to my post. How far back was it? It was here. The post from PwC I made a post about, and the KRI responded saying that this is one of the reasons why we don't particularly support EVM. For now, we are focused on standards in carbon and energy instruments. They're focusing on the energy market because they understand that Kaspa, which is a long life asset, needs long-term solutions. The KRI, I understand people faded them right now. I get it because they haven't done, or seemingly haven't done a lot. But truth be told, you're probably not going to see too much from them right now anyways. Doesn't mean they're not doing anything. Same for Kaspa. You look at the price action, you think it's doing nothing right now. Look at the project and you're in the bubble that we're in, you see all of this happening continuously. We do have enterprises that are very eager for Kaspa. Again, to quote some of the KRI, they wanted to build on Bitcoin, build on Ethereum. Both did not work. They wanted to build their own decentralized DLT to protect them from government overreach and bad actors. They decided best to leverage Kaspa. They approached Shy at an event in Ireland, I believe. It was March-ish time, and they formed the KRI in June or July, around 2024. And it's been a little over a year since then, and we now should be seeing the pilot programs for Gigawatt, ZTEX Exchange, and Warp Core coming out sometime in the next 3 months in the fourth quarter, amongst many other things as well. We did see a roadmap of sorts from them. They have got the enterprise connections. They are ones who are trying to tackle these markets, talking to Swift, talking to the SEC Crypto Task Force. They spoke to Coinbase on our behalf as well with an open letter. So while I understand there being a lack of updates, therefore lack of center behind them, the adoption is there for Kaspa. It's not like we are completely off the radar. We were a top 50. We're now dropping down the rankings a bit, yes, but we are irrespective of top 50, top 60 asset. We are one of the better assets in the space, and that's organic. We were top 20 at one point when the FOMO was really, really high. People are, don't get me wrong, we are in a bubble. We probably believe that more people know what Kaspa actually do, but Kaspa is not a complete unknown. There is eyes on Kaspa. Again, remember to remind people that Nick Szabo was talking about BlockDAG being a very promising aspect as well. So Nick Szabo, the creator of smart contracts, who is very well respected in the space, also gave kudos to Soplinsky and BlockDAG and Kaspa. Not endorsing it, but recognition. That in itself is already a big deal. So I understand price action for Kaspa being bad. I get that. But to, again, full circle, the leaders of the market are the institutions. So that's what matters. And they care about tech. So that's why price, again, while it's important, not trying to downplay it too much, but it shouldn't be your only focus. If the price is doing bad and the developments taking place are equally bad or lackluster, then you've got a cause to be concerned. But if the price is bad, but developments are coming through and they are still coming through at a strong pace and they are still game changing, again, 10 BPS was game changing. The launch of smart contracts been met with conflicting views, but has been still seeing inflows and volume. So it is good. We'll have to see how the KF expands from here. If they do, they most likely will. Then eventually, as I highlighted here, Prag lies utility. Utility will showcase the price coming back eventually. Unfortunately, it's a question of when. The same question for tier 1 exchanges. It's a question of when. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But currently where we're at, and you've got people like this person as well, Bitcoin Corey. Affinity scam Kaspa peaked at 20 cents last year, hit 2 cents today. 1 year chart was a Bitcoin looking like a shitcoin ever. And VJ responded here, said you would have 3x if you bought instead of taking a screenshot, by the way. If you bought Kaspa at the 2 cents, you would have made 3x from there back to 6 cents. But also, the guy said, and actually, no, that's not the one I wanted to showcase. It was Kaspa Silver, I think it was. Who was it? There was someone in particular. I'm pretty sure it was Kaspa Silver. Yeah. Someone replied here saying, "Dang, this has a lot of bots." And the guy said, "Bot farm management is the primary use of capital for pre-mined shitcoin foundation grants." And Kaspa Silver, and I've jumped in as well for a laugh. I'll start the bot counter for you. That's the funny thing, and also a massive misunderstanding. All those who see the post and response from Kaspa, they all believe we're bots. We're not bots. That's again just when people realize we're not bots, that just showcases to you how strong this ecosystem actually is, this community is. The fact that we are always told and we are always highlighted that we are bot accounts, we are bots. We are not bots. We are the most organic community in this, well, Bitcoin is the most organic, but we are the next most organic community in the space, and we have one of the highest engagements of any project. And the reason why Kaspa always wins those mayhem madness and those round robin tables, because community will keep it alive. That's the belief. That is the belief. This guy thinks Kaspa is a pre-mined shitcoin. Amazing how ignorant a Bitcoin Maxi CEO can be regarding another fair launch, fixed supply, proof of work coin. This is why I'm confident Corey will put in literally 0 hour studying Kaspa. If he did, there's a high likelihood he'd be impressed. Unfortunately, he feels threatened and feels the need to spread misinformation, as many tend to do, talking about Kaspa, because the price action is bad. It's funny how price action seems to be all that matters. I remember when Bitcoin, people were talking about the superiority of the technology of Bitcoin, the ethos of Bitcoin. Now all that matters is Bitcoin is the number one, it's the best, and price action is what it matters. They only care about price now. The space has been plagued by price action is all that matters. And again, that is a distraction. Not unimportant, but it's a distraction for the bigger picture. It's a Trojan horse. Beautiful to look at, is still quite good, but what's really going on inside that Trojan horse is what matters. Falco, very much. Falco, brother, thank you very much for the $5 donation. You always take the most fire when you're over the target. Keep winning, fellow Kaspers. I completely agree. Completely agree. This is the time we've got to really up our conviction and learn more, know what's coming to the space. Developments are coming through slowly but surely, but the tortoise in the hare, tortoise wins the race. You know, that's how it goes. Kaspa's doing well today, currently up 7.23%. You know, doing quite well today. Same thing with Ondu, doing quite well, up 30%. Octa's not doing as great, up 1%, but it's still holding within this zone right now, which is good to see, around that support or resistance. So Beck, again, up 3.4%, again, doing okay. So Kaspa, of course, being the main focus of the stream, but the other assets, Okta, Ondu, the Beck, also performing quite well today off the back of Trump's reassuring post about ignoring China. It was a misunderstanding. Great stuff. Other reward assets, I think, are also going to rally very well this fourth quarter. If you want to find out in particular what, then again, check out the VIP 7-day free trial or equally a 1-month free trial as well. Shout out to BYDFI. Access to alpha information, documentation like this, and a lot more. We've got hundreds of documentation in there. We've got 38 weeks of VIP exclusive live streams. We have our real world asset doc in there as well, where you can check out and read through all the picks and in-depth information about why these projects are, well, the good and the bad about the projects, and ultimately my belief on if they'll do well or not. Again, not financial advice, so do your own research. Find all stuff out again. Links down below in the description. wop.com/coin factory. Now, to come back full circle to get some more questions real quickly. If Kaspa goes to 1 cent, I'll start buying rigs and become the biggest Kaspa miner. Not a bad strategy, fantastic, honestly. If Kaspa does succeed, 1 cent, wouldn't be a bad shout. You get a lot of cheap Kaspa. I'm sure a lot of people will turn off their miners by that point. Is it safe to say to 100x, no stop loss? Not at all, Buffling. Not at all. We are still, despite Trump's reassuring announcement, there's no guarantee we're going to be going up tomorrow or in the next few days. It's still tough to determine, but things are looking more optimistic at the very least. Yes, Buffling's right. If you enjoy the stream, then leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. I mean, yes, it's probably the quote-unquote safer option right now, but it's still no guarantee. Safer than maybe shorter, but still no guarantee. Looks beautiful, Kaspa. I don't care about market ranks, market cap, or any of that smoke and mirror garbage. The best tech always wins, always. And if you can show me one example where the better tech in life does not get adopted, I'll give you my entire Kaspa bag. I welcome that challenge. Anyone wants to try and challenge that? Please. Do you have limit orders set for Kaspa, and at what price? I don't currently have limit orders set for Kaspa right now. I am kind of waiting for more confirmation for a move. I've got a bag that I always want to set more Kaspa, but I've got a bag that I'm comfortable with right now. So I don't feel like I need to keep throwing money in. Again, I don't want to necessarily overexpose myself. Kaspa is my biggest bag by a country mile, so I probably already am overexposed, but I don't want to get too ridiculous, at least not yet. That might change again when I perceive it to, but right now I have no limit order set. I know that we did put a spot trade in our VIP for Kaspa at this level of support here. So those are my VIP community who did get in for Kaspa at that point. We'll be up 10% already. Could go up more from there as well. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Bitcoin fell to from 19 cents to 2 cents, from $19 to $2 in 2011. And those who held on, given the FUD, should be proud of themselves for believing in it. Yeah, I completely agree. Those who believe in Bitcoin, they've reaped the benefits in a big, big way. What if Kaspa won't do the same thing? We have no idea, but the technology in itself is enough to believe in it. And the community has proven that it's very, very strong. While people are getting more and more worried, and I've seen a lot more posts today about people who just want to reach a certain price target and then just sell everything. We're going to get those people happening pretty much the whole way up to the all-time high. You'll see people who have their average or entries for Kaspa, be it at 13 cents, be it at 10 cents, whatever it may be. And they're like, when it hits that, I want to get out and I just want to sell. I want to go all out. And that's fine. You can see a lot of tough levels of resistance going up. But once Kaspa does break above that, there's going to be like no limit. Like the levels of restriction on Kaspa is going to be, the restraints are going to be lifted. The shackles are going to be taken off, more or less. I feel terrible right now, but I closed my eyes and bought the dip. Big good stuff, Nessie. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully none of us will live to regret those decisions right now, because I think buying the dip in anything right now wouldn't be unwise. But again, that's not financial advice. But if you bought in the dips happening yesterday, you'll be up right now. So I remember Jay face reveal on old Gala videos from way back. I didn't do face reveal back in the day. I've never done a face reveal in my life. Stop lying on the internet, LB. Don't look at my gallery videos either. That was a very dark time. Anyone over 1 mil Kaspa on the line here? Show me one example. Yeah, go for it. You can say it about all cryptos when it goes down a little. It can go to zero, but nobody knows it can also go back up like crazy. Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Things can go. People know. No one knows what's going to go down to zero or what's going to go down, but the chance of it going down is equally as strong as it going up. It depends. I mean, the factors that can determine that. The chance of Kaspa going to zero, in my belief, is a lot smaller than anything else because how it's decentralized. And even though we just see it go down to 1 cent, because people got it on exchanges right now, those who still hold on to Kaspa will be enough to keep it up. That's my belief. And yeah, unless there's some type of oracle problem, proof of work will never be worth $0. Not physically possible. Exactly. What we saw recently was an oracle problem. That's why Kaspa came down to 1 cent. Too many people. No fairness proof of work could do that. Yeah. Too many people want Moon now. Yeah, pretty much. Again, that's people who are just chasing candles. They just follow distractions. It's just how the market has been. It's how it's warped from Bitcoin, great tech, better than fiat, to Ethereum, the next Bitcoin. Of course, it didn't reach that. And it came to, oh yeah, you know what? Build XRP, build the other ones as well, being new innovative tech to crypto. And then it became, oh, it's going to make big gains. And it went from tech to price. And it's always then become very much hyper FOMO and price. And now it's going back to tech again. With institutions being here now adopting the tech, it's now going back to tech and then once we run the market. What's up, Dom, bro? You're doing very, very well. What a ride. Yeah, indeed. Crazy ride indeed. And yes, Crypto, thank you very much again, brother, for the shout outs. Again, the affiliate link to BYDFI, no KYC, no VPN, and regulated exchange is on screen, also in the chat as well, and also down in the description, and also in my physical server, alongside the physical server link is there as well. The VIP, a lot more in-depth insights, documentation like this. We posted a lot in today, and some interviews as well. And equally on X, I'm starting to post a lot more as well, so you may be worth to check that out. So you can also occasionally get insights like these without having to always join the VIP, although I still think it could be worth your while. But again, I'm not going to convince or not going to force anybody, of course. We try to let our education, our information, our sources speak for themselves. So if you want to see what it's like, again, you can join for free for 7 days, see what it's like, and then as you think it's a bit of you and you think you want to level up your game, then check it out. Oh my Kaspa, now, like I was buying Solana after FTX crash, feels wrong, but it pays off in the long run. Honestly, Phantasm, you've got strong conviction, and I hope that it does play out well for you. I think Kaspa right now is definitely looking strong as it held 5 cents and now to make a bit of a recovery. Now, will it continue? I have to wait and see. Just put more Kaspa, how can you not? Exactly. I'm just quickly glossing over some of the questions real quickly because I am past the hour mark right now and I do have to have dinner. So, and I've had some very, very bad sleep recently, so I think I might just. It's currently like 10 p.m. here, so I want to have like another hour of doing work. So, Kaspa is like silver, so with no liquidity pools, it just has value that is exchanged. So if I'm watching property prices deflation happening now, yeah, everything's just going down, you know? Exactly what I've been telling people, take out debt, buy fiat and buy assets. It's a high risk, but it's what smart money do. And yeah, we're seeing everything right now just capitulate and crash. It's kind of the whole fourth turning happening in real time. Only proof of stake projects with TVR can go to zero because the TVR is the liquidity that can be rugged. Yeah, pretty much. I had 230k Kaspa at a price of 12 cents, so I messed up, but I'll keep holding for the long run. I mean, maybe you messed up, but again, it's right now down 50%. So yeah, in that regard, you have quote unquote messed up, but it's a relative. Again, if and Kaspa running above that, then you still got in really early. You know, if Kaspa becomes a speculative $100, $200, $1,000 asset in the future, 20 years down the line, you're going to say you messed up again at 12 cents? Not at all. You say, yeah, you wish you bought more. Again, that's not me trying to tell you to buy. I'm not telling you to do anything. But it's a matter of perspective. It's your conviction and belief in Kaspa right now. My average Kaspa is probably similar to yours right now. I haven't checked my Kaspa bag in a very, very long time. Well, apart from when I traded some to use for a Casplex. But I've not checked it. I have no reason to. I'm holding for the long term. I'll end up checking it at the end of the cycle to probably take some profits, but I'll be putting it back into Kaspa immediately in the dip. Because that's what I see for Kaspa as a really innovative, speculative, great long-term asset for making gains, you know, throughout its lifetime. I still think you're going to see a big rally for crypto, raw assets in particular, but crypto in this fourth quarter, and you might see Kaspa shock a lot of people. And again, if the cycle doesn't extend into 2026, then Kaspa's definitely going to shock a lot of people. Not your ring Hong though. Welcome back, bro. Hopefully soon enough, though. I admit you have a point. Well, thank you very much, Ten. Again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm being unempathetic. It's just trying to spread the wisdom or the education that I have on hand from the information that I find out, and just trying to open people's minds to other perspectives besides just price, you know? But I know you're not an unreasonable person. You're just, as many other people are, frustrated with the price, and just thinking, what's the worst case scenario, which is valid. I mean, again, I'm a conservative person, so I do tend to also think in similar scenarios. It's just with Kaspa, I feel like I could turn that emotional or that meter off, because I understand that the tech in itself is just something that will get adopted or should get adopted. Anything's possible, Kenny. I hope we see it too. Look at Tower. Yeah, Tower's flying right now. 32%. Had a massive rally that day, actually, before then the crash happened where it sent itself back down, but it's now trying to gain that all back again. Tower's flying. Great stuff for Tower right there. Good evening, Greta, you're doing very, very well, brother. Nobody wants over one more Kaspa to give me. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah. People don't want to say that tech will be adopted. But my bearish feeling at the moment, if Kaspa goes to the moon versus Bitcoin, I wouldn't care about the profit as much as I would relish the Bitcoin tears and how many of them switched and lie that they care about tech. Yeah. Right now, Kaspa, people who hold Kaspa right now are pretty much in because they have no choice and they want to just break even, or they care about the tech and conviction in this project. Kaspa eventually is going to be overtaken by those who only care about price again, because that's what retail tend to do, only care about price. But that sentiment hopefully will change soon when we actually realize that tech is what matters. Couldn't say it better. Couldn't say it better myself, DD. Honestly. Welcome back, Octoblast Pro. You did very, very well, brother. Reading about miniature drones using blockchain, but it's too slow. Yeah, I wonder who will fix that. Is it Kaspa faster than the internet? I know there's been talks about that. I can't guarantee or confirm if it is right now, but I know it's going to be. I think it might be faster right now. I mean, actually, I'd argue there are elements to it where it is, because Kaspa has crashed exchanges with the stress tests. The APIs can't keep up. I don't think that's an internet issue, it's more so an API issue, but yeah, I mean, Kaspa will be a good solution, definitely. No, LB, no, not at all. That was my early days of content creation, where I was just kind of looking at what did get spoke about. I did hold Jasmine, I did hold Gala, I did have belief in both of them, despite, you know, Jasmine looking like a very, very bad chart. And then eventually I saw a bit of fun. I was like, you know what? The chart in itself was terrible. The project sounded like potentially good, but I just realized, yeah, it was not worth it. Then Gala, I got out of Gala around the whole, there were so many legal debacles with Gala. Gala was actually a good project. I did like Gala. When I was holding that, however long it was then. You can see the charts. I still have it on here. So I had Gala up until here. No, I had Gala the whole time. I was down on it, and then this surge happened here. I can't remember the reason for that again, actually, but I got out around the top here. I sold it because I don't know about it, and it's been going down since. And it's because of all the bad management taking place on the project, CEOs, illicit activities, all a load of just very, very bad stuff. So I was like, get out of that project now. It could still do well. I don't know. I mean, it's right now at a very bad price. I have no belief in the project, really. A lot of their gaming contracts with the people, like Spider Tank as well, apparently they had lawsuits against them as well. So it just went completely P-tong. I got Gala a little early before all that stuff went down. Jasmine, yeah, I just don't look at those videos. I should really hide them, but I should hide them, but I do very much try and believe in trying to be transparent, and I will accept that I did hold. I mean, Jasmine right now is actually up. It actually did quite a nice rally end of the year following all the market push. But I got a Jasmine a lot earlier. And even then it's still hovering around this price. And it's not bad for Jasmine, honestly, hovering around this price. But it is I don't have faith in Jasmine, really. If it goes back to all-time highs, that'd be fantastic. Or back to like a decent level, $1 or whatever. It'd be fantastic, but I don't have faith in Jasmine. I haven't looked too much into the project again though, so I can't say much more than that. Talk about Tony Espo doing very, very well. Let's go. Load up, guys, 100%. I think right now is not a bad opportunity to scoop up at all. Again, not financial advice, though. WWJD, not a clue what that means. I'll be honest. But yeah, Zebek, yeah, again, I think Zebek is an asset that will do very, very well in this fourth quarter. I think it's held up very strongly through this whole crypto crisis, which is also, for me, a relatively good indication that there's enough belief behind the project or at least VC's keeping it up, whatever you want to highlight your reasons for being. But I think Zebek have got some good partnerships and good stuff going on. So I think Zebek is one that can make gains a cycle. Of course, the golden thing for me would be if Zebek decide to go onto Kaspa. That's a hopeful future, though. Anything for VProg release? No. We know that the VProg second white paper or second yellow paper or the updated yellow paper is being done with alongside the likes of Rust. There's no date for that just yet. And we know Dagnite implementations are taking shape. So if I was to hazard a guess, it'd be Q2, Q3, 2026. So middle of next year. We'll see more updates hopefully this quarter from Michael Sutton and some Plisky and the dev team. The cat I might be waiting for, I mean, I know that they're big catalysts they're waiting for is Dagnite. And VProg would be a big thing as well, because again, I did showcase not really using EVM. So they'll probably want to have VProg as well. So I have to wait and see. But I have got a kind of other version EVM type of thing called Electrum or something like that, which I think they're currently running Warp Core off right now. But the EVM part is still kind of important because it allows interoperability with Kaspa. How did it even come that Kaspa went so high in the price in 2 or 3 years? Yeah, I mean, the fastest asset in history to reach $1 billion market cap, purely off organic, FOMO, but organic community sentiment, retail, not VC pumped. That's insane. Yeah, it'd be going down for a little over a year. August 1st, we're now August, we're about 14 months downward price action. But again, that should hopefully change. Again, Kathy Woods once said the longer the base pick of the breakout, hopefully the breakout will come through very soon. What would Jay your mum do? Okay. Sure, okay. I don't know. She's not a big crypto fanatic. I've been trying to convert her, but some people are just too stubborn, I think. What would Jesus do? Okay, what would Jesus do? Okay. As a religious man and a Christian, I should have known that. But that's not, they're saying, it's not something I've ever heard abbreviated, so. Zebek Kraken, yes, Zebek is going to be on Kraken Exchange on the 15th. That's quite a big deal. I'm making a video probably about that later this week. I've been meaning to get that general market update video out, but this should be such a hectic weekend for me. I've just not had the ability to do so. So I'll make that tomorrow, giving a general update what happened just gone this weekend and some projects that I think are going to do very well and have done quite well. And then make a Zebek video and a Kappa video and about, getting back into the swing of things. I'll try and make some shorts as well. Would feel so good to be a millionaire in the next 4 years and get an ultra gaming PC with Elden Ring 2 out and scratching my big belly and heavy, while gold diggers chase me in my Ferrari. Yeah, mood, honestly, Lieutenant. I mean, one thing that I am low-key looking forward to is GTA 6. GTA 5 was a crazy game that should be coming out next year. So hopefully the market will peak around then, and then I can take some time off to play that. That would be the dream. Take some time off to play GTA 6 just for a few months, and then get back to the grind again. Because the real grinding happens in the bear cycle. And especially how the market's starting to accelerate more and more. Again, you want to find that sort of documentation to prove that. Institutional sentiment, check out the VIP. You can see the sort of accelerated momentum we're going to start seeing from now in the next 2-3 years. Currently we're at a tipping point. So we want to find that out again. Check out the documentation available in the VIP. But yeah, if I take a break, it'd be a very short break, knowing that the bear market, when it does come through, if it does come through, it's going to be a very, very short one. Sparkle is separate from VProgs. Yes, they are separate. It's a core dev in the regards to crypto aspect who's making Sparkle, and they will have kind of ties to VProgs, but to my knowledge, VProgs is something else, and Sparkle's kind of going to be utilizing that. again, the whole understanding of it is still very nuanced, very new. So I'll provide more insights when I have information at hand. Manufacturer bear market on Kaspa. Yeah. These now market makers forcing a bear market on Kaspa, so when it's going to start pumping, no one expects it. I wouldn't discount Jasmine. Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at Jasmine. It might do well. I just don't have any belief in the project. I've not looked into it though, so if it does well, fine. I missed out on that, but I've got my bags. I'm happy, and I'm looking for other assets that are real world assets that I think are going to do very, very well. Jasmine's not on the radar for me. I know, Wing Hong. I know you want enough so you can get women to find you attractive. The gym also works, I'd say, but maybe. I mean, yeah, money's definitely the most attractive thing for a lot of people, I could say. Not everything. Money's not everything, but it is a big part of life. Hence why we're here. Act poor always. Yeah, I mean that's my philosophy, honestly. No, when I'm with Kaspa, there will be signs, but no one will know what those. No one will know that I'm rich, but there will be signs about it. It'll be like a Kaspa number plate or something like that on my car. I did gym doesn't work for me. Well, okay, everyone have their own methods. Maybe it is Kaspa bag for you then, but I'm sure you'll find what works for you, Wing Hong. Everyone has their own thing. But that being said, the family, again, thank you all once more for tuning in and watching today's Kaspa, predominantly Kaspa, but it is meant to be kind of transitioning to more so just a crypto live stream, more so Kaspa today, but that might change in the future, who knows. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Check out the socials and Twitter, and equally the VIP and the Discord community. Links are down below in the description. Level up your trading game with the VIP, a lot more in-depth insights. Again, documentation like this with institutions who run the markets telling you, stop caring about price. These are distractions. We are now going to be seeing the next generation of financial market infrastructure and innovative technology coming to crypto. So, again, we're at the tipping point. We saw a video interview earlier saying we're at the tipping point right now. So, now not time to be so held up and sprung up on the price. Start doing your research, level up your knowledge. Stop chasing candles. Want to find out more insights? Check out the VIP. Come on the free community to be more locked in either way to what's going on. And that being said, have a great day, good evening, and good night.